Okay, the video you're going to see right now is a real brief overview of the different steps of raising Christmas trees. I'm not going to go into super detail. Later this year, as I do each of these steps, I'll do a more in-depth video. But right now, you're going to see briefly what it's like to plant, shear, weed control, fertilize on a 5-acre Christmas tree farm. We typically buy bare root seedlings from the local nurseries in bags of 500 and plant them from late February to mid-April. Okay, right here you see a stump, actually quite a large stump. This was a big tree that was just cut down, and I'm going to plant another tree. We just keep everything in our same row, going north-south. So I'm going to move a foot, foot and a half. I got to get a little bit away from the stump. One, I don't want to get root rot to shear, and two, I don't want to have to dig up the roots. That makes it hard. There's no weeds growing here because it was all sheeted out. So this is digging up nice and easy right here. I need to get the hole deep enough so that when I put the tree in, the roots can hang straight down. You don't want the roots to be in there and then folding back up. That's known as J-root, and then the roots will grow back up and bind on itself. You need everything to continue straight down. So I got a nice deep hole. I'll put this in here, and notice I'm putting the tree lower than the top of the ground to begin with. I'm going to push some dirt on there, and then I'm going to lift the tree up a little bit, and that makes sure that the roots are pointing down. I want to pack this in to make sure that there's no air around the roots. And then once we've done that, just keep the tree upright, bring all the extra dirt back in, pack it down good. Come back in 7 years and take this tree to put in your home. Okay, what you see right here is our quad ready to spread some lime. You should have got your soil pH to the right level before planting, but after 16 years, our soil is beginning to get too acidic, so we're spreading some lime to raise the pH. Also, we do fertilizing in April, and so usually we take 2 ounces per foot of tree and actually sprinkle it around the drip line of the tree. We carry buckets and do this by hand. Got the quad set up with a 100-pound spreader. Actually, there's 150 pounds of gold pearl in there. Calipearl, actually. Different type of lime. Ready to go up and down the field spreading lime. Make the soil less acidic. You can see in this picture that in the spring, about the same time we do the fertilizing, we also spray for weeds. You can see that the grass and weeds are dying in rows. We take a backpack sprayer and spray up and down individual rows, and then we try to mow through the rest of it. We try to limit our chemical use. To be honest, we go back and forth on whether to kill the whole thing or just in rows every couple of years. Okay, one of the challenges we have here, we've tried to do different things here. Most tree farms sterilize the soil, so it's just bare dirt. We don't like that for a number of reasons. We don't want a ton of chemical here, and then in a wet season it turns into a bunch of mud. So we've been mowing up and down these rows. You can see where it's short, and trying to spot spray, but as you can see, we had a ton of Queen Anne's lace come through here and grow up and cause a real problem. But we've decided that we'd rather have a little bit of weed and no chemical than a ton of weeds, or a ton of chemical and no weeds. Next on our calendar is we will be spraying for aphids. Usually this is late April, early May. After the trees have put out a few more inches on the leaders, we check for aphid damage, and then we start spraying for aphids. We put Ultor in the backpack sprayer. I can hold 3 gallons of mixture in this sprayer. And we go up and down the rows. Again, grand firs really get hard by the aphids. After we're done with this, usually we can let the trees just grow for a month and a half, 2 months before the shearing season starts. Okay, another really important job to do on the Christmas tree farm, and you can do it basically any time of the year, is when your tree gets to about 3 feet tall, give or take a little bit, you need to cut a handle on the Christmas tree. And what a handle is simply you have to cut all the branches off the tree that are within a foot of the ground. You need to clear these out completely. And then that way, as the tree grows, when a customer comes to cut it down, you have a foot that will fit inside the Christmas tree stand without branches in the way. And there's a couple of other reasons you want to do this too. If you let the tree grow for several years with branches down here, the trunk gets really big and it gets harder to fit in the stand and the tree gets heavy. And then last but not least, if you leave these branches growing up, some of them start growing up into the tree. And then if you cut down the tree and the customer says, cut those branches off please, so I can fit it in the stand, and you cut off a branch that's sticking way up in the tree, it takes away from the shape of the tree. So if you cut the handles while the tree is still young, then what you see is what you get when it's standing in the field. Okay, I'm going to show you how we do our shearing, which again is normally in July. I'm out here in December to create this video, but I want to let you have a little understanding about what's going on here. So this tree has done its bud set, it's set its buds. All these little buds are what branches will be growing out of next year. When they will start coming out probably about April. There will be soft, tender shoots that will come out that aren't woody. If the tree was to stop getting water, they would completely wilt down. But during shearing season, what we do is we let them get most of their growth, but before they get woody, we take our shearing knives, which are extremely thin, long blades that we can swing really fast and are super sharp. And then there would be, so what we should have done this year is this blade should have swung right through here. And because it's not woody yet, you can go through the entire tree without slowing down the blade, and the ends just fall off and you get a nice shape. Now I'm going to swing the blade a couple times on this one. This is now woody, so it'll slow it down a little bit. But if you do this in late July or early August, it just cuts through it like it's not even there. Okay, again, normally I'd be doing this in July. This is woody, so it's going to give more resistance. But I got my 16-inch blade with a 16-inch handle. I create the line, I point the top towards the top of the tree, and I have the butt of the handle towards the angle I want, and then I'll just swing through. And in July, we'll just swing right through the entire tree, and all the tips will fall off at that angle. Keeping your line is important. Now in late November, you got to get the farm ready for sales. Get a few decorations up, get the signs out, bring people in. Okay, one thing that you will need if you're going to have a Christmas tree farm is near your parking. We got our parking lot here. You need something to sell your trees out of, or where people locate. So normally we give away free hot chocolate out of here. We might sell some ornaments, and it's a place for people to pay. It's nice if you give it a country feel or a farm feel, or decorate it. Give it something that adds to the atmosphere of your farm. Then you add a couple animals to the petting zoo, and it's go time for harvest. Okay, here's our shaker. It's really important to have a shaker if you're going to have a Christmas tree farm. Everybody wants the old dead needles shaken out. You stick the trunk of the tree in here, and you just simply turn it on. It vibrates and shakes. This pile of needles has been cleaned up multiple times. You'll get 100 gallons of, several 50-gallon bags of needles in a day cleaned up.
You're in that, yeah.
One of the things that makes our farm unique is I have a crew that will go out and cut the trees down for you. So it's a we cut instead of a you cut. And they're a great working crew. People that come out here just love this service, especially those that are dressed a little nicer or maybe a little older.
All right, perfect.
Oh, T's going to work. And then after we cut it down, we'll put it on a quad and haul it up front so that we can shake it, and then we'll just put it on the car for you as well. Thank you for watching. Those of us from Flanagan Homestead and East Fork Christmas Trees greatly appreciate it. Please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing this. There's going to be a lot more videos on growing Christmas trees, raising a garden, raising animals, and generally country living.